Semiotic is a field of study that explores how human and other organisms derive meaning from the world around them, helping us understand the world and different culture. Sign is the smallest unit in semiotic. Sign could be anything, an object, an image, or even just a letter. In semiotics, the meaning of the sign does not make by itself. Instead, in semiotic, the meanings of a sign can only given by the world around it, the society and other signs that relate to it. If any if any sign that starts to stay away from the society, its meaning will also goes away. For example, the word crapulous. This fatalistic word is essentially the opposite of fabulous and means to feel ill after eating or drinking too much. But this word is no longer being used anymore. It stays away from the society. Nobody uses the word anymore. And nobody knows this word's meaning anymore. So its meaning had also disappeared. The words crapulous had just become some random sequences of English letter, no meaning at all. There are also some other words that meaning had been changed due to the changing of the society or the relation between the signs. The word gay would be a perfect example for that. Back then, gay means carefree, cheerful. But as the society developed, people started to care more about different gender and sexual orientations to so the meaning of gay had been changed to the homosexual male. In semiotics, there are few word or sign deriving meaning from this theory. To help us further understand the semiotics, syntagma, paradigm, signified, signifier, icon, index, and symbol. Syntagma is a relationship about positioning of words, and paradigm is a relationships about opposition and function identity. While syntagma relations are about possibilities of combination, paradigm relation are function contrasts. It was introduced by Saussure to distinguish two kinds of signifiers. Those two words help us to explain how signs relate to each other. Syntagma and paradigm provide a structural context within which signs make sense. They are the structural grains through which signs are organized into codes. In film and television, paradigm include ways of changing shot, such as cut, fade, dissolve, and wipe. The medium or genre are also paradigms, and particular media texts derive meaning from the ways in which the medium and genre used differs from the alternatives. The signifier represent the physical existence and signified represent the mental concept. For example, the word rain would just be water dropping from the sky in signifier, but in signified, rain would also represent bad emotion or the god are crying for somebody's lost. For the part of icon, index, and symbol, Charles Sandler Peirce defines those three categories of sign based on how sign is related to this object. Icon directly resembles the object. It shares tangible quantities with the object. Index implied association with the object and sign are connected in a logical way. Symbol is not inherently connected to the object. Instead, the connection within a particular society because their meaning must be explicitly taught. Yellow paper Those yellow paper that written by Spud, taking a major role in the movie as a sign. It represents those main characters' memories, destinies, and the truth that they would never evolve into the society again in both signifier and signified ways. Spud had taken drugs for 20 years. As the beginning of the movie said, he don't even remember the British summertime because of taking too much drugs. When Mark tells Hyde that if him wants to get rid of drugs, he needs to be addicted to something else. He tried so many things like boxing, but all of them didn't work. Until he became addicted to writing he and his friend's own story. As the movie goes on, more yellow paper appear in Spud's room, spreading all over the table and floor and sticking it on the wall. As the movie goes on, more and more yellow paper showed in the movie shows that Spud are making more and more progress on quitting drugs and getting clean in Signifier. Those yellow paper in Signified also shows that after 20 years, Spud and his friends still lives in the past. Because when they saw those stories on the paper, they were still excited and feeling fine about what they did. Just like Franco, he still remember on the words he said and he's still proud of it. Those stories on that paper also reveal their destiny in Signifier. It reveals their destiny that same thing was gonna just happen just like 20 years ago, betrayed and get stolen from their best friends. The comparison shots of Mark's home and his vial make them become a sign in the movie. An unchanged home and an unchanged room in Signify shows that he failed to become a better person and evolve into the society. He returned to where he starts, and he is still a loser and a scum. 20 years ago, in order to get a new life for himself, he stole all the money from his friends and left from his parents. Now he came back with nothing. So when he first his vinyl at the beginning of the movie, he cannot play that. Even it is Iggy Pop, his favorite movie because he cannot accept that the truth he felt. But at the end of the movies, when all the stories end, the last shot shows that after all the stuff that he been through, he came back to his home and played his violin again. Those two contrast shots as a sign tell the audience that he accepted fact and what he really is and he never been changed. He's still that stupid boy dancing alone at his room, ridiculing the society and those common people around him and the spirit of entertainment supremacy. Train. As an iconic product of industrial revolution, the train as a sign makes sense on all three classifications: icon, index, and symbol. There are 3 times that the train have been showed in the movie, and each time it shows it has different meaning that come with it. When the first time that the train came out, riding with Mark in city, an icon, the simplest relate to the object. It tells audience that our main character is coming back to the hometown. In symbol, train comes, representing the start of a new story. The train moves, representing something big is happening and promoting the plot into a new level. The second time that the train showed is when they are paying homage to their dead friend. The train takes them to the place where their friend died and they need to take another train so they could leave. But this time, the train that takes them to leave seems look a little bit different. This film's name, Transporting, usually means the hobby of going to railway stations and recording the numbers of the complex trains and railways that you see. But in slang from Edinburgh or in the movie, considering as a sign in index transporting means finding those mess and unorganized van due to the overdosing drugs or your arms so you could inject heroin into your body and getting high. The second trend in the middle of the movie promoting the plot in symbol and sending a message to the audiences that they are taking drugs again and getting high right now. The further the trend goes, the higher they are and the more drugs they take into the body. So the director could directly cut to scene where they are at the club and let audiences preparing for next what's gonna happen next and don't make them feel abrupt from cutting the scene of homage to the dead friends on the grass directly to the clubbing at the night. The third time that trend shows up at the end of the movie just after Veronica stole all the money from Mark and Simon and taking Trent to go back to her home. The trend just go by while Mark is chased and protecting himself got killed by Franco as the climax of the story. In symbol, this trend shows audience information that this is the climax and the end of the story. Therefore, semiotics in the field of study that explores now human and other organisms derive meaning from the world around them, helping us understand the world and different cultures. Science is the smallest unit in semiotic, but it is a very important elements in the movie.